Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? No, says the man in Washington, it belongs to the poor. No, says the man in the Vatican, it belongs to God. No, says the man in Moscow, it belongs to everyone. I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
That was Andrew Ryan, a visionary from the game Bioshock. Now, Ryan is what you would call an objectivist, or someone who follows the philosophy of objectivism. But what is it, you may ask? Well, it's a philosophy that was first instituted by the Russian-born American Ayn Rand, author of Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead. And in objectivism, you are an independent individual who follows their own self-interests while profiting from their work and ambitions without being inhibited by others. So pretty much, a hard-working person would live like a king, while a lazy bum would, live like a lazy bum. Now I'm going to play for you another audio clip from Andrew Ryan, and I think this is what best conveys his objectivist ideals.
To build a city at the bottom of the sea, insanity. But where else could we be free from the clutching hand of the parasites? Where else could we build an economy that they would not try to control, a society that they would not try to destroy? It was not impossible to build Rapture at the bottom of the sea. It was impossible to build it anywhere else.
Well, now that you have a better understanding of objectivism, I'm going to delve in to how it influences Bioshock, and not just how the objectivist ideals influence it, but how objectivism and Ayn Rand as a whole influence everything in this game. Now, let's talk about names. And boy, did the developers have fun with these. For now, the first two, Frank Fontaine and Atlas. You know, they seem kind of familiar, but I just can't put my finger on it. And if we go back to Andrew Ryan, you'll actually notice that his name is an anagram of Ayn Rand. And the city of Rapture actually shares its name with a biblical event, the Rapture, in which at the end of the world, all the people of Earth are judged to see if they'll go to heaven or not. So you can really see all the creativity that the developers used and what Andrew Ryan thought of his city. There are also many similarities between Andrew Ryan and Ayn Rand. They both share objectivism. They're both Russians who moved to America in order to escape the grasp of communism. And they both created their own cities in order to express their ideals. Andrew Ryan in the form of Rapture, and Ayn Rand in the form of Galt's Gulch in her novel Atlas Shrugged. I also want to talk about one of Ayn Rand's most famous quotes, who was John Galt, from her novel Atlas Shrugged. In Atlas Shrugged, John Galt is a very powerful man with a hidden identity, who alongside some of America's greatest thinkers, such as mathematicians, artists, and scientists, leads a strike against the US government. The phrase, "Who is John Galt?" is repeated many times throughout the book as a reply to important questions that have no clear answer. Saying "Who is John Galt?" is like saying, "Who even cares?" or "Why even bother? What's the point?" You can see this in Rapture with the posters that Sander Cohen uses to advertise for his new album, Why Even Ask, which uses the same sarcastic tone and syllable count as Who is John Galt. And the hidden identity of John Galt is very similar to the hidden identity of Atlas, and you can see this in Rapture by the posters posted around saying, "Who is Atlas?"